If you're a man who's ever been caught in the trap of fake affection, used like an ATM, and left questioning your worth, this video is going to change the way you see women forever. Because behind every female mask, there's a strategy, and only those with masculine frame and emotional intelligence can see through it. What if I told you that just 3 questions could reveal everything she's hiding? These aren't small talk. They're truth tests, designed to expose gold digger signs, emotional manipulation, and fake loyalty. If you don't learn this now, chances are you'll keep falling for the same act again and again. Stay with me till the end, or risk staying behind. And hey, if this message is hitting somewhere deep, take a second to drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. That simple action helps more men wake up to the truth. Let's begin with the first question, and what it silently reveals about power, dynamics, and your place in the relationship. The first question, where her mask starts to crack, every man has felt it, that quiet sense of doubt, buried beneath attraction. You're doing all the right things, yet something doesn't add up. Her words are sweet, but her vibe feels off. That dissonance? It's not random. It's the first whisper of female strategy in motion. What if you had a way to bring it to light, not by confronting, but by observing? Not aggressively, but with calm precision. That's where the first question begins to work for you. Let's start there, not with suspicion, but with male discernment. Because if you're not asking the right things, you're just guessing. The first question is simple. What do you value more in a man, his character or his lifestyle? You ask casually, in context, but her answer, it's everything. Women with substance will pause, think, reflect. Women driven by performance, they'll dodge, generalize, or glamorize success. That's the first layer of the truth test. If she lights up talking about your car, your home, your ambitions, but never asks about your morals, your decision-making, or how you treat people, you've got your first gold digger signs. And here's the key. You don't react. You log it. Because that's how emotional intelligence looks in a man. Not in overanalyzing, but in quiet observation. You're not here to catch her lying. You're here to see who she becomes when truth walks into the room. A client of mine, Marcus, once told me about a woman he dated who seemed perfect, beautiful, charming, even spiritual. On their 3rd date, he asked that first question. She smiled and said, character, but then spent 40 minutes describing her dream house, vacations, and lifestyle goals. That's the female masks slipping. He didn't challenge her. He didn't need to. Just by asking and watching, he realized, she's not interested in me. She's interested in what I can become for her. That moment, Marcus stepped into his masculine frame. He didn't ghost her. He just shifted his energy. He stopped overgiving, stopped trying to impress, and watched her lose interest. She faded on her own, because without validation and resources, the game wasn't worth playing. That's the magic of asking the right question. It filters. It repels what doesn't belong. That's how you reclaim your self-respect without ever raising your voice. Here's what most men do wrong. They get excited when a woman responds the right way, but ignore the incongruence in her behavior. Words are easy, but emotional manipulation lives in subtle contradictions, when what she says and what she does don't match. That's why these questions aren't just verbal. They're energetic. The words open the door, but your mental strength keeps you steady as her mask starts to slip. The first question reveals desire. The second one, it reveals entitlement. And now that you've cracked the surface, it's time to go deeper. The second question is simple, but it cuts sharp. Do you believe a man should provide for everything in a relationship? No sarcasm, no tone, just stillness and wait. Because the answer to that shows not just her mindset, but her power dynamics, who she expects to lead and who she plans to control. If she says yes, that a man should pay for everything, decide everything, plan everything, pause. Because she just revealed she's not looking for partnership. She's looking for a provider, a replacement father, a lifestyle ticket. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you accept that silently, you just signed up for sexual leverage and fake affection disguised as love. And here, a quick pause. If this is starting to shake your views, if it's making you rethink what you've tolerated, hit that like button right now, subscribe, and share this video, because the next question will expose even more. Let's keep going. When she answers that a man should take full financial responsibility, dig deeper. Ask yourself, what does she offer in return? Because relationship clarity isn't just about who pays for dinner, it's about emotional balance. Does she support your vision, nurture your ambition, protect your peace? Or is her contribution invisible, undefined, purely emotional, which conveniently can't be measured? That's the subtle danger of unbalanced expectations in modern dating. A woman who operates from inner power doesn't need to be kept. She adds value, builds with you, grows beside you. But one who expects to be carried financially, emotionally, socially, is running a game of quiet exploitation. And you'll know it by how she answers the question. If she scoffs at the idea of shared responsibility or defends her entitlement as feminine energy, be warned, that's not femininity. That's female strategy in heels. Now, don't assume every woman who prefers traditional roles is toxic. It's not about who pays. It's about why. Intent matters. Emotional intelligence means listening to the energy behind the words. Does she see the relationship as a partnership or a transaction? And more importantly, are you choosing from strength or fear of rejection? Because men afraid to set male boundaries often end up in silent servitude, resenting the very person they chose. Think of this second question like turning on a light in a dimly lit room. You don't attack, you reveal. You say it casually, maybe while walking or driving, and then you watch. The tone, the smirk, the slight eye roll. That's the power of silent tests. And guess what? A woman who truly respects you won't flinch. She answer, maybe even challenge you with her own beliefs. That's how real power dynamics get exposed. I once coached a man named Dorian. Successful, grounded, but always attracting women who drained him, until he asked that second question on a date. The woman laughed and said, "Of course. If you're a real man, you should." He didn't argue. He paid for dinner, dropped her off, and never called back. For the first time, he felt emotional control, not because he won, but because he saw. That clarity changed the way he dated forever. Most men wait until they're deep in a relationship, or worse, marriage, to figure this out. But you don't have to. These questions are like X-rays. Simple, quick, non-invasive, but they reveal the fractures early. And once you see those gold digger signs, you can't unsee them. That's not paranoia. That's psychological mastery. And when you move through the world with that level of awareness, you stop attracting drama and start inviting peace. Now, the final question, the one most men never think to ask. And ironically, it's the most powerful of the three. Because while the first reveals her values and the second exposes her expectations, this one uncovers her self-awareness. It's bold, it's surgical, and it requires courage to ask. But once you do, you'll see her female mask crack in real time. So what is it? You're about to find out. Here's the third question, and it's one that almost no man asks, because it feels too deep, too intrusive. But that's exactly why it works. You ask her, when was the last time you took full accountability for something that went wrong in a relationship? And then you shut up, because this isn't about her exes. It's about her self-awareness, her maturity, and most of all, her ability to live without blaming the world. A woman who's never taken responsibility will panic or deflect. She'll say, it was mutual, we just grew apart, or worse, he was toxic. Listen closely. If she avoids owning anything, you're not dating a partner. You're dating someone who's mastered emotional manipulation. This question filters victim mentality instantly. And the way she answers it tells you whether you're looking at growth or a loop of unresolved patterns hiding behind polished behavior. And yes, this one hits hard, because most men don't even realize they've been dating female strategy that hides behind victimhood. But here's the truth. If she can't reflect on her past with humility, you'll become her next villain. That's not speculation, it's psychology. And men who lead with masculine energy don't fear asking hard things. They embrace the discomfort. They hold space without judgment and let truth over feelings do the talking. A woman worth keeping will pause. She might even get a little emotional. She'll tell you where she messed up, what she learned, and how she changed. That's what you're looking for. Not perfection, but emotional intelligence. Because if she's never taken ownership in her past, she never take ownership in her future. And that's the trap most men fall into, falling in love with potential, not pattern. This question breaks that illusion fast. And here's where things get uncomfortable for you. Because the moment she senses you're really listening, not to respond, but to evaluate, you shift the power dynamics. You become the one who frames the interaction, not with control, but with clarity, with stoic mindset, with intention. That's rare. And she feel it. Most women are used to leading the emotional tone. But when you stay grounded, the game changes. If you're afraid to ask this third question, ask yourself why. Do you fear losing her interest? Her approval? That's not love. That's survival. You're not here to impress. You're here to choose. That's personal leadership. And once you start filtering for accountability, you stop attracting excuses. You start attracting women who take ownership of their role in conflict, who grow instead of spiral. That's the kind of partner worth investing in. This question isn't a test for her. It's a mirror for you. Because how she answers will reflect everything you've allowed before. The female masks you ignored, the red flags you rationalized, but not anymore. Not with this level of awareness. You've now asked the 3 questions that expose everything: values, expectations, and accountability. What's left is how you'll use that information. And trust me, most men won't, but you're not most men. By now, you've probably noticed a pattern. These questions don't just expose her, they refine you. You become less reactive, more aware. You stop over-explaining yourself and start observing more than you speak. You develop male boundaries without needing to declare them. And that's attractive, not just to women, but to yourself. Because every time you ask a hard question, you reclaim a piece of your self-respect that the world told you to suppress. Most men are starving for this clarity. They've been lied to, played, led on, and blamed themselves for the fallout. But once you adopt this mindset, asking bold questions, staying still, letting truth surface, the game stops playing you. You stop attracting fake affection, emotional chaos, and drama dressed as passion. You stop chasing love. You start choosing it. And that shift, it's the difference between a man surviving and a man leading. If this video is challenging what you believed about love, dating, and women, good. That means you're finally waking up. You've just learned 3 simple but powerful questions that reveal values, test expectations, and uncover emotional maturity. But don't stop here, because knowing the questions means nothing if you don't learn to interpret the answers. So if this is hitting hard, pause now, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me, because what comes next will show you how to read her silence, not just her words. Let's keep going. Here's something powerful. The most dangerous women won't lie directly. They'll answer with just enough truth to keep you guessing. That's why these questions aren't about catching lies. They're about revealing alignment. Do her values match yours? Do her expectations reflect respect? Does she take ownership or deflect blame? These aren't high standards. They're respect filters. And once you see through the noise, you stop making choices based on emotion and start living by truth over feelings. Some guys will hear this and think, isn't this too much? Isn't dating supposed to be fun? Sure, if you enjoy gambling with your peace. But if you're building something meaningful, these questions are non-negotiable. They're your blueprint. They don't kill the vibe. They create the real vibe. And they protect you from years of slow emotional erosion that happens when you ignore your intuition. That's not paranoia. That's stoicism with a pulse. Let's simplify. These questions don't make you cold. They make you clear. And clarity is magnetic. The more you live from masculine frame, the more your world organizes itself around it. You'll spot gold digger signs in the first 5 minutes. You'll feel the shift in energy when she realizes you can't be played. And more importantly, you'll start attracting women who are emotionally intelligent, grounded, and ready for real connection. What happens when she answers all three questions well? You lean in, you stay open. You don't idolize her, but you see her. And that's the foundation of trust. Not blind hope, but emotional control with curiosity. You explore without attachment. And if something shifts later on, you re-ask. These aren't one-time filters. They're ongoing tools. And the man who keeps using them never loses himself in the process. At this point, you're not just dating. You're interviewing for alignment. That's not cynical. It's intelligent. And the woman who values you will feel that clarity in your presence. She'll either step up or step out, and both are wins. Because your time is sacred, your vision matters, and your peace is priceless. Personal leadership means treating yourself like a high-value asset and only inviting those into your world who respect that value. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to memorize scripts. Just remember the heart of it. One question for her values, one for her entitlement, and one for her accountability. Ask, breathe, watch. The silence will tell you what words never could. That's psychological mastery in motion. And once you live from that place, you'll never again fall for charm over character or beauty over integrity. So here you are, 3 questions, 1 mindset shift, and a completely new lens through which to see women, dating, and yourself. You now have tools that most men never discover. Use them, respect them, and most of all, trust what they reveal. Because truth doesn't yell, it whispers. And if you're still enough to listen, it'll protect everything you're building. Now that you know the questions, what are you going to do with them? Will you keep dating with blind hope, or start filtering with sharp eyes and a steady heart? Will you keep mistaking attention for affection, or finally demand truth before time? Remember, a man who doesn't ask questions is a man who signs up to be played. You have the tools now, but only you can choose to use them. So here's my question to you. Which of the 3 questions hit you the hardest? And more importantly, are you ready to ask it out loud? Type "no more games" in the comments if you're done being deceived and you're ready to lead with clarity from now on. And hey, if you made it this far, I truly appreciate your presence. Your growth matters. Your time matters. And I'm honored to speak to men like you who are finally waking up. If this content spoke to you, go ahead and like this video. Share it with another man who needs to hear this. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. The work has just begun, and you're not alone in this.